Well, what a 24 hours it has been. Wow, we've got some new stories to talk about. We've got the drama going on between Elon Musk and Donald Trump at the moment. Then we're going to switch across to some Lululemon. And then I'll be also talk about a little bit about some UK stocks as well towards the end of the video. So a good mixture of stuff going on today. So what's been a pretty quiet 2 or 3 weeks in the stock market. Kind of got a bit of spice in the last 24 hours, if that's what you can call it. Even the likes of Kanye West. Even Kanye West was getting involved in this situation. Very rare that he tweets, and always you never know what you're going to get there. Very risky and dangerous tweets quite often from Kanye West. But even he was getting involved in the whole Elon Musk and Donald Trump drama that has gone on at the moment. And the loving relationship has certainly met a big end at the moment. So, yeah, what started out as maybe a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago, obviously we had Elon Musk saying that he was going to leave Doge. Then we kind of had Trump coming out and saying about the tax credits that Tesla gets. He was looking to end it, which was a little bit of a surprise because one of the things we thought was going to happen more than likely is that, Elon, thank you for supporting me. Here you go. Here's the tax credits. We'll keep it in. But he decides to get rid of the credits. So maybe some signs of a little bit of cracks going on, but then we got the last 24 hours and it went to another big level. So first of all, I'll tell you something that's hard, guys. I tell you, the amount of misinformation that is out there nowadays that is allowed to get out there. Like this account here, this guy called Dividend Hero. I looked earlier when I was just kind of get a few slides together, and he posted like Elon Musk has suspended Donald Trump's account, which wouldn't surprise me, but I didn't think he would do it because obviously, imagine going for like, oh, I bought X for free speech, and then he goes bans Donald Trump on X. Couldn't see it happening, but you never know nowadays. But turned out to be false. Shows you the amount of misinformation that goes out there these days. But the first thing is Elon Musk was giving Trump a lot of criticism about his plan to start cutting spending, and then saying that he went and did loads of tax increases. That's where it first started increasing quite a bit going forward. We also saw that Trump mentioned about cancelling SpaceX contracts. Elon Musk then responded by that we will stop supporting some of the government's space missions that they have going on at the moment. We then saw Elon Musk coming out and saying that the tariff situation, which he's been very quiet on, suspiciously quiet on, the only thing that he's kind of mentioned before is like, yeah, it's not the best situation, but he actually came out and said these tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year if they carry on, if they do actually happen. So breaking his silence on that. And then the big one, I don't know how much I can say this on YouTube, but obviously a lot of reference to the whole Epstein situation that I'm sure most of you guys are aware what's going on with that Epstein situation, the island, the list situation that has never been released, and big criticism of the reason why that Trump is not releasing the list is that because he's on the list, which is like, I mean, we talk about the other things, but this is like, that's a big accusation to be throwing out. That is one that you're not going to recover from very quickly. So definitely a lot of things going on at the moment. I won't say too much on that situation because I know I don't want some men in suits turning up at my door and you'd see me disappear. Now, interestingly, you got to say the timing of it all is absolutely unbelievable because Tesla stock today is down 14%. In the after hours, it's down 2.6%. And the little run that it has been on is kind of starting to give it all back a little bit. I still think Tesla stock's incredibly overvalued. I still don't know how this stock is 156 times earnings, considering when you do look at the financials and the revenue is down 9% and net income's down 70%. And the stock is still at 156 times earnings. Absolutely crazy. But once again, I don't know how much it comes to smoke and mirrors. I talk about this all the time with Elon. He's very good at smoke and mirrors. Now, if he is doing his smoke and mirrors, this is one heck of a way to go to the smoke and mirrors. But I don't know if you saw the Tesla's Chinese EV sales, but another horrible dip, down 15% year over year in May, which is, for such a big market, is a horrible set of numbers. And we know whenever these horrible numbers come out, or these horrible earnings that have come out from Tesla, Elon does go for the smoke and mirrors tactics of like, oh, don't worry about it, or I'm going to make a headline over here so you don't focus on that story. He does it all the time. And the fact that he's done it today is, I mean, if he is doing the smokes and mirror tactics, that is one heck of a way to do a smoke and mirror tactics to cover it up. But I mean, the numbers on Tesla. I mean, if you're a Tesla shareholder right now, I mean, you must be looking. I mean, I'm not. Last time I was a Tesla shareholder was 2022, and I sold my shares out for some good money. And I've not been in stock since, and there's not been a situation where I've kind of bought in since then. But I mean, this whole situation puts me off buying Tesla. And if anyone is still in Tesla, and it's quite a long time ago. I was there saying to a lot of you guys, are saying crazy overvalued. And I remember getting called an idiot. And I remember one day someone put a message on Patreon to me and went, I am cancelling my Patreon subscription because you talk negatively about Tesla. I was like, wow, these guys are sensitive. But I don't know what it is about some Tesla shareholders. They are a sensitive bunch. They are. I don't know if it's kind of the cult following, but I remember making videos back in 2022 and I was saying like this stock's it's going nowhere, guys, for the next few years at the moment. They've just got nothing going on, and if you listen to me, obviously, you've probably made the right decision and got rid of it. But if you're still holding it, you've probably been sat on this stock for the last kind of 3-4 years now. You're going, bloody hell, I've done nothing in this time frame. But I gotta say, like, you do look at Tesla stock, and I just look at it and I think it's a car company at the moment, isn't it? Like 90% of those revenues are coming from the car side of the business, and it's an absolute mess. And you must be looking at Elon Musk getting involved in these situations, and he says, right, I'm gonna step away from it now. And you think, all right, maybe this is the positive here, and he's actually going to start focusing on the business after the business is just absolutely on fire. And it's like he didn't only like put Tesla stock on fire. It's like Elon Musk has then run around with a petrol can and started pouring more petrol on the fire. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, if you're a shareholder right now, you must be in your head in your hands going, Elon, why have you done this? I mean, as an outsider, I'm thinking, bloody hell, there is a little bit of entertainment factor going on here, to be fair. But if you're a Tesla shareholder, you must be absolutely fuming in the last 24 hours. It's you just be like, just focus on the business, man. Look at the financials, and you keep doing this to us, you'd be absolutely fuming. But hey, we'll see where it goes. I'm sure by the time I've recorded this video and edited it and get it up for you guys, there'll be probably even more tweets out, more news stories. Where it will lead to, I don't know. Will it end up with more impact on Trump? What will happen to the stock market? Will the stock market get a little bit nervous around the situation? I mean, in my opinion, like I've said for a while, I think like I look at the stock market right now, and I do believe the stock market is very much fair value, maybe even slightly overvalued. So I think the stock market may be looking for a reason to kind of maybe give some gains back at the moment. The only leg up I can see for the market at the moment is if interest rate cuts come, if they do come. That's the only thing I can see. But yeah, we'll see how this kind of plays out, because I certainly think that this is. I think this video can get very outdated because there'll be new information coming out, and I'm sure there'll be still a lot of tweets coming out in the next 24 hours, because we know that this guy that's half involved in this situation loves a good tweet. And moving on to the next one though, Lululemon. Wow, what a whack. Just come out of earnings, stock is down 22%. Used to own Lululemon, started buying it back in 2024, made some fantastic money on it, sold it out, and it since then has given some of it back. Tried to do a bit of a rally, but giving it all back again, where it's going to fall back to about $256, which is actually still higher than where I last bought the stock, to be fair. Look at the numbers. I actually don't think the numbers are terrible. EPS was a B, revenue was 7.2% in line. Yeah, America was a little bit weak, but I mean, how many companies at the moment are you seeing weak apparel sales at the moment? It's not as bad as Nike, I'll tell you that. But it's definitely not as good as On Holdings. Their earnings were absolutely mega. Maybe there was a bit of a downgrade on the revenue side of it, and there was also a little bit of a downgrade on the EPS side of it, so a bit of an outlook cut for the year. But overall, it's not terrible. Like the downgrade on the cut wasn't awful. Yeah, it wasn't great, but it's still doing okay. At the right value, I think I'd be tempted to buy Lululemon. The only issue that I have is that 22 forward times earnings. When we count for the 20% drop, it's probably like 18 forward times earnings. Like the growth's slower than when I last bought it, and the valuation isn't as low. If it wasn't for the profit warning, I'd probably be looking at Lululemon, probably like back in like $130 range, and that would be something what like 16 forward times earnings. I think now that they've had another like a profit warning, I'd realistically probably look at Lululemon probably like 14 forward times earnings, which would mean the stock would have to drop to around about 210. So yeah, another 20% drop from here. So yeah, disappointing numbers. I can see why the stock is dropping, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible. If it came to the right value, which is probably another 20% drop, I'd probably consider buying back in. The only concern I have about Lululemon is that I did go past one of the stores the other day. Didn't even realise I had one in the Trafford Centre. But I was in the Trafford Centre. Yeah, I walked past the Lululemon store. Couldn't believe how empty it was. It was unbelievably empty. Don't know if it is maybe a bit of a trend that's falling out of love. This actually isn't my photo of the Trafford Centre store, by the way, but that is what it looked like, ghost town. Don't know if it's just, maybe it's had its day, I don't know. But there's still some growth there. That China growth still looks very strong. If the risk to reward was there, I'd be probably tempted to take it. But yeah, we'll see what happens overall. UK stocks. Gotta say, profit warnings. Oh my days. So I don't know if you saw, like, the last week, there was a big drop in, is that how you say it? HVIVO? HVIVO is how you say it. Why did I make that so hard? I know a few guys on the Discord were buying that, and the stock fall all the way. It was lower than that. Yeah, it went to 6p and then it's up to 10p. I know a few of the guys on the Discord went bottom dipping on that one and bought the money. I didn't personally. It's not a stock that I'm 100% sure on, and I always look at these situations and I go, the only way I'd be comfortable buying the dip is if I was bought it and then it didn't rebound and I was okay holding it for the long term. And I don't know if I feel okay buying this one in the long term, but a few guys on Discord started buying into it. But MJ Gleeson, don't know if you saw that stock this week, but yeah, mega drop, big drop on the Tuesday, and down 25% in the last kind of 5 days. And what makes me laugh is that at the moment, this UK housing sector, we're getting so much mixed data out. Like, we saw Forterra's numbers last week and they were saying like everything's going really well. And then you get someone like MJ Gleeson that comes out and they did a profit warning. They say the housing market is still doing a slow recovery. I guess ultimately though that, they're selling the end products and brick sales at Forterra were like the start of the housing market. So maybe that'll translate in like 3-6 months time. They also had a land sale that apparently fell through as well. It meant that the operating profit was going to be 15-20% lower, which is exactly what the stock kind of dropped here. Actually, probably a little bit more because it's down 25% in the last 5 days. And I thought, you know what, yeah, I can see the stock going down, but I mean, realistically, what should be down? Like 5-10%? I mean, long term, it should be okay. If you ever look at MJ Gleason's longer term numbers, the growth still looks very good and the housing market's still yet to recover. And I was actually considering this a couple of weeks ago and I ended up buying Taylor Wimpey and I looked at this one and I thought, like a bit, 25% is probably like a little bit overdone here. And the thing is with like this, the UK stocking, I was supposed to be doing a video on B&M today and I ended up doing this one instead with what's going on. I mean, I've been trying to have weekends off at the moment. I did it last weekend, but I'm probably going to have to do some videos on YouTube over the weekend. I'm going to have to do B&M probably on the Saturday, and then I'll do the stocks I'm buying on the Sunday. So then weekends off lasted for one weekend, and then we're back again. So I'll try to do a B&M video probably on Saturday, but like it's absolutely crazy to me. Like we talk about like UK stocks, and I mean, to be fair, this kind of goes against it at the moment because Lululemon's is actually having quite a significant dip, down 22% after profit warning. But I've seen so many US stocks so far this year like do profit warnings, and the stock only goes down like 3-4%, and it hardly moves. Look at Tesla. I mean, their last earnings were absolutely atrocious, and the stock hardly budged. There's been a couple of other stocks that have had earnings that have been, look at the likes of Nike. Starbucks comes to my head. Their last earnings were pretty poor, and the stock hardly goes down. Like there's some of these UK stocks that come out, US stocks that come out with profit warnings, except Lululemon, and they hardly budge. But I gotta say, like UK stocks, I mean, some of those times you get some of these drops on here, like HVivo, like the drop on that one. MG Gleeson going 25% down. Yeah, sure, like there's a profit warning, but it's going to be okay in the long term. But 25% down. B&M basically came in line, I think maybe slightly below what they told us they were going to do like 6 weeks ago, and yet the stock's down 16%. Absolutely crazy. And it kind of goes against two ways here. Like the US stocks are good to own, and they do really well, and normally give you the higher quality companies with companies that massive around the world. But I've got to say, the UK stocks, they can be volatile. Like, you quite often can have the points where you own a UK stock and then you blink and then all of a sudden you're down 40, 50% in a day. You're like, bloody hell, what's happened there? You do get that in the UK stocks, which can be a bit of a nightmare. But also with the UK stocks, I've got to say, like, the last kind of few weeks, it's a bit of a reminder that you can have these situations with these UK stocks where they go down 40%, but blooming it, you can make some good money on some of these dips, considering how fast they go. You look at Vivo, if you bought the dip, I mean, if you got the 6p range, you're up a good 60, 70%, aren't you? There was another one, like Big Technologies. I mean, them guys, they came out of a massive issue, and look at how much that's kind of rebounded since that time frame. Look at like Warpaint, for example. Yeah, it does make you kind of aware, like, there's very quickly these opportunities can kind of come out of nowhere. I've been on the Discord on the Patreon and the private group, and I've been whinging like the last 3 weeks and been going, this has been absolutely boring. Like, the last 3 weeks have been boring. I've not really enjoyed the last 3 weeks in the stock market because I've been like, there's no going on. Apart from the last 24 hours, and it's got a bit more spicy, but it just reminds you, like, you got to have patience, because very quickly you can go from this time period where you're like, oh, this is a bit boring, and then all of a sudden all the fireworks are going off, and you're like, hold on, we might have something going on here. And maybe it's also, I don't know if you saw, Wise, they had a good day yesterday. The stock was up 7%. Been a good month, actually, up 12%. But these guys are actually moving their main listing to the US, and maybe the reason why is because, first of all, like, just how crazy the UK markets can go. You do one bad report on the UK markets, the next thing you're looking at your stock and it's down, 30, 40%. And I think Wise even had that at one point. Yeah, even this year at one point, Wise was down a good 17%. And I think it's done it previously. Yeah, in 2024, it had a bit of a shot down as well. So yeah, maybe they kind of thought about, getting away from that volatility, but also, maybe they're looking at a valuation point of view, and, you do look at some of these valuations in the UK markets. And I was talking this on the Patreon the other day on my US portfolio review. I was saying, like, some of the valuation difference is absolutely insane. Like, you look at B&M, and yeah, it's got its problems, but it's, 8 times PE right now. I mean, on a forward P, I don't know what it is on forward P right now. Oh, it's coming up as a 9. But, you look at some of the similar stocks, and I think, like, I was talking about Dollar General the other day, like, very similar stock. And granted, Dollar General are having a little bit of stronger financials at the moment, but that's trading like 20 times forward earnings, like double the valuation of what like B&M is at. Absolutely crazy, like the metric difference that some of these companies kind of trade at. So maybe we'll see some other listings as well that are UK based eventually, if they got that worldwide exposure. They do move to the US side of it for a little bit more stability on the share price, and maybe a little bit of valuation metric expansion, and trade at a bit of a richer valuation potentially. But yeah, that's the stock for today, the video for today, guys. Hope it was useful. Not really a point there, just kind of wanted to give like 2 or 3 minute thoughts on a couple of situations, like the whole Trump and Elon situation that's going on, Lululemon, thoughts on Lululemon, and then just some thoughts on UK stocks that I've had in the last few days, and share it out for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I'll try to do a B&M video for you tomorrow, and then I'll try to do the US stocks I'm buying for you on Sunday. So yeah, keep your eyes open. For you guys on the Patreon and the Discord and the private group, I'll do the live Q&A session for you at some point as well. So keep your eyes open for that. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you in a bit.